What's so funny, John? Good next comics, Robert B. Moran, life coach! More noise!
Thank you. So my name is Robert B. Moran, life coach. That is actually my day job. I'm here in Boston, and formerly that used to be called being unemployed. But then I got a Zoom account, and now I'm a life coach, and I've got an ad on Craigslist, so everything's going pretty good. One of the nice things about being a life coach is I wrote one book, and I'm writing a second book, and I'm flat broke. So I really like coming here and hanging around with you guys, because almost every comedian I hear talk about says they're broke as well. And the nice thing about being a life coach is that I get to talk to people for $200 an hour, because they've got money. And I just like to see how the other half lives. When I first started out, I wasn't really sure what the difference was between therapy and life coaching and recovery, but I think I figured it out. You know, therapy is for people that have problems and they're willing to admit it. Whereas life coaching is for people that have problems, but they refuse to admit it, but they've got money. And I think recovery is for people who are trying to do therapy, but they're trying to do it on the cheap. So one of the things about therapy, there's a lot of like slogans and things like that. I don't know if you've heard of some of these. So I'm not sure if this one is actually from recovery or if it's from the bomb disposal unit. But that one is easy does it. Easy does it. I think it's right up there with, I think it's the red one. Oh, got a good crowd. Thank you, Rob. So one of the things that I do with the life coaching is dealing with people that have job problems, and I've had my share of job problems along the way as well. I used to work at one of those big box hardware stores, and it was not the orange one, it was the blue one. But I was working there. Basically, I was desperate. I hated the job, but they would hire me, so that was a big plus. And one of the bad things about it was is a lot of times I'd have to show people to the different products in the store because the place is so big. And I remember one time this guy came in, looked really depressed, really down. So I took him over to aisle 14 and I showed him where the rope was. I felt bad about it, but it did have a good happy ending because I did get him to put it on a Lowe's credit card. So I got salesman of the month, so it wasn't a complete loss. And when I was there at Lowe's, I mean, I was up and down, always, you know, bending my knees and stuff like that more than I'd ever done before. And I eventually moved over to something called loss prevention. And I've heard of loss prevention, but those are the people that have the cameras and they sit there and they watch people. So it's, if you're a voyeur, it's pretty good to get the zoom on the camera. But my original boss in loss prevention loved me and thought I was doing great. But then I got a new boss and I thought I was doing terrible. So the worst thing is having a job you don't like, and then you're almost about to get fired. So one of the things that happened was I used to think about hurting him on a regular basis. And eventually I realized this doesn't have a good career trajectory. So what I did was I'm a veteran, so I called the Veteran Crisis Line, and I got admitted into the psych ward. Anybody went to the psych ward?
Woo!
Yeah!
I'm crazy!
So the psych ward, if you haven't been, it's basically, you know, the thing with like no shoelaces, no belts, no medication, things like that. So as a life coach, I like to, you know, reframe things, put a better spin on it. So I like to say about that time in my life that that's where I won the Nobel Prize. The Nobel Prize, get it?
Ah!
Yeah. Another thing is this whole idea of fitness. That's the big thing that people want coaching is how to get fit. So I put on some weight. I got about 70 pounds of baby weight that I put on. And I call it baby weight because when my life doesn't go the way I want it to, I act like a baby and just eat everything in sight. So my original fitness plan was for strength training. I would carry it into the world. And then for aerobics, I would run from my problems and I would jump to conclusions. And that has not worked very well. Thank you. So I started to go to the gym. And at the gym, one of the things I think we can agree, one of the worst things is to have people stare at you when you're working out. I was at the gym the other day, and that's exactly what happened. You know, I was doing some dumbbell stuff, and I was doing it. I was a TJ Maxx. I think I saw it. So I was doing some dumbbell stuff. The guy's watching me, and he would do it, and then I would stop, and he would stop. You know, and one of the worst things is if somebody's overweight and they're staring at you. So I was doing this for a while. I finally got fed up, and then I realized I was just looking in the mirror. Thank you. Yeah. So one of the other things is this with with therapy, right, and the recovery situation. When I was at the psych ward, they assigned a therapist to me. So I was talking to the person, and she said that she thought that my narcissism was causing me to misread social cues. But honestly, I think she was just trying to hit on me. And recovery sometimes is geographical. So I went to Los Angeles and I went to one of the meetings of the Plastic Surgery Anonymous. And when I was there, there was a bunch of us there, and the moderator said, "Oh, I see a lot of new faces here tonight," and I must say, I'm very disappointed. And the last thing is, when I was in Texas for a while, the training program, down there they had a recovery program for people that are compulsive line dancers. But it's not a 12-step program, it's a 2-step program. Okay, Robert B. Moran, thanks a lot, everybody.
Here you go, Robert B. Moran!
Robert, I love that you described lifting weights as dumbbell stuff. So I just imagine someone going to the gym and they're like, I'm not lifting weights, I just like to play with the dumbbells. And I like to get 2 of the circular ones and race them down the stairs like they're slinkies. The gym hates me, but I'm not breaking any laws. You can roll those weights around.